So, what I was talking about is how every morning I wake up in pain because I'm disabled now, right? I have a permanent nerve condition, complex regional pain syndrome, um, resulting from getting bitten by a mastiff dog while training a canvasser. And so the commentary I just did on Facebook was that the petitions we were carrying, like the primary petition, because we carried like upwards of 5 to 6 different petitions over the course of the campaign. But the primary petition was that we were trying to get worker protections for the hotel employees, that we would limit how many rooms they had to clean during a shift, that they would get um, bonuses for cleaning more than what was required in their contract, uh, that they could refuse overtime if they didn't want to take an overtime shift without any repercussions, that they would get a bonus if they had to switch floors, move the heavy cart in an elevator and switch floors. But the prime thing was they would get panic buttons. And so if something happened to them, if they were assaulted by a guest or by another employee, they could call for help from a supervisor or for security in the moment. So I was told that it was really easy to get these panic buttons and that it was pretty much like no cost to the employer. That was my selling point at the doors, right? Why didn't we have panic buttons? The Canvas staff, why didn't we have panic buttons? We had no safety procedures whatsoever. Our safety procedures were very simply, if something happens, find your Canvas partner, get to a safe place, and call your team lead. That was the safety protocol. But it didn't go beyond that. There was apparently some incident reporting that was completely fictitious. The incident reports are actually supposed to be an OSHA form, but it was a completely fictitious process. So, um, I had canvassers who had guns flashed at them. We had Nazis observe us. I saw physical violence at the door something like 3 or 4 times. I was severely bitten by a dog and am now permanently disabled as a result of it. I'm not the only person who was bit by a dog because we sent canvassers to the dog parks all the time. And one of my canvassers got bit too, but his was just a flesh wound, fortunately. I had 2 canvassers that got stalked in turf, and they both happened to be canvassers that didn't drive. So they were at an even bigger disadvantage because they didn't have a vehicle they could run to. We should have had panic buttons, and we should have had a team lead in turf at all times. I was being kept at headquarters while my team was being sent all the way to the other side of the city. I'm also fairly confident that when I came back from the first medical leave, that I was being set up for failure, so I'd be pushed out immediately. For example, all of the other team leads were given a prepared box that had loaner equipment and the handouts they needed to give to their teams. I never had one. I was back for 3 days. Nobody ever gave me a box like that. Not once. That had loaner tablets, loaner batteries, the equipment that I needed to give to my team, I had to pilfer from other team leaders in order to supply my team. It's pretty clear to me that I was being set up for failure from the get go. And I imagine that's because I'm the one who said, when are you going to hire new team leads so that we get 2 days off a week? That's when it all started, I think. I said, when are you going to hire new team leads so that we can get 2 days off a week? Because this is a very physical job and we're working very long hours and we're working over 60 hours a week. And the response I got from the field director was, oh, this is very normal. Is it? It's very normal? Well, I've talked to other labor leaders and they say it's not normal. And that's not how we worked in Georgia, and it's not how we worked in Pasadena, it's not how we worked in Laguna Beach. It's not very normal to do 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. That's just the regular shift, right? But for the team leaders, it was 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. The day that I got bit, I was on 4 hour walk restrictions, medical walk restrictions from my doctor. I was still required to do an 8 hour walk shift training a canvasser that day. They had absolutely no respect for my medical restrictions whatsoever. And that's why when I came back after the first medical leave, I was assigned the very tasks that had injured me so severely that I was sent into a medical leave to begin with. No respect whatsoever. So how do you fix these sorts of things? Give your Canvas staff panic buttons. Have an actual safety protocol. Don't wait 20 some odd days before you start an interactive process after somebody gets hurt on the job. Have an actual process for workers' compensation. Um, Listen to people when they tell you that something is hurting them. If an activity is painful to somebody, don't make them do it. Figure something else out. Have written job descriptions. Define exactly what the job responsibilities are so that management doesn't take advantage of the staff and change up the responsibilities on a weekly basis, because that was happening to us. That was happening to us. Every week, my responsibilities changed. Every week, I was told a different way to manage my team. We accomplished some really great things last spring. We made history in getting the most signatures for a municipal measure in history, right? We didn't do that alone. That was also done through partnerships with other groups like Fieldworks and Groundworks and whatever. It wasn't us alone because early in the campaign, I was told we were not hitting the numbers. And I knew we couldn't possibly be hitting the numbers because they hadn't hired enough people. I was told straight up that we were supposed to have 100 people on staff. We never reached 100 people on staff. That never happened. So it wasn't for lack of effort by my team or by me, it was recruitment. We didn't have enough people, but we also didn't have safety protocols. And so now I wake up every single day in pain, every day.